Oh, there's Kendrick.
Yeah, sorry
And
about that.
Tatiana. Hey, Tatiana.
Tatiana's on. Yeah. Uh,
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very
Hi.
much for being on the call. We want to get this call started straight away because our time is limited to 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to gracefully hand it over to Darlene.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and put it on mute except for Monica and I?
Okay. Hold on. Okay, you go ahead and then I'll try and work this out. Oops.
Okay.
I don't know what button I just pressed.
Kendrick.
Go ahead.
So,
Okay, got it.
yeah, I don't know how it works either. Okay. All right.
So who are you speaking with?
This is Monika Majnik.
Monica, got it.
Well, she's on my upper left. Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Darlene Shannon, and I want to thank everyone for joining the Making of the Mindset Raw and Real. Today I have a special guest, and she is the epitome of what one team is all about. I met Monika last year at NYKO Palm Springs with her amazing team. Her and her team took my friends and I under their wings and spent time with us, giving valuable information to us newbies. Monika is a former fitness professional of 20 years and was a personal trainer in the Canadian movie industry. Monika is an accomplished four-star Golden Circle with a team of over 6,500. I don't know how you do that, but I want to know I want to know the secret. So, Monika, go into briefly what you did for a living before Isogenics.
Well, as you stated, I was a personal trainer for probably about 15, 18 years. And then before that, I had just a slew of jobs. You know, I worked as an office person, and I was an aerobics instructor back in the day where it was, you know, a lot of jumping around and crazy spandex with, you know, G-string things.
Leg warmers.
Yeah, we're not playing warmers.
Yeah, it was flash dance all over again. So yeah, that's pretty much my history. I went to college for environmental science, so I am truly at heart a tree hugger for sure. That's still a big part of who I am. And but mostly in the fitness industry. That's how I started off.
That's awesome. So what changed your mindset? What is it that happened that brought you to Isogenics and decided to be a business builder instead of just a product user?
That's a really great question. And I think a lot of women fall into this category. And I'm just going to speak for the generalization of women, not all women, but I think a lot of women do. We fall into, you know, a time in our life when either we're getting separated, we're getting divorced, kids are leaving the nest, and we're sort of stuck not knowing what to do. And in my situation, it was a combination of two things. The movie industry actually was heading back to your neck of the woods, to California. You know, the tax incentives had died. And so the movie industry, you know, had decided to go to a more lucrative area. So my work was actually drying up. And at the same time, I was out of a relationship. And the combination of those two left me feeling like I was in the middle of a midlife crisis. And Isogenics was there. It was something that I hadn't looked at previously, and was just kind of in my face, and it was a big reality check that this time I really need to take a look at.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, with that, I see your team members on here, some of your team members. Which ones are your team members? Dawn, Vivian, Terry, and I'm not sure, there's other people that are just on phone calls, and of course, Kelly. What motivates you with them, and how do you keep them motivated?
Well, there's a few things. What personally keeps me motivated on a personal note is actually nature. That's something that keeps me motivated on a daily basis and helps to clear my mind and to really sort of set my day in the right direction. And then, you know, of course, after that, my partner, Kelly, he motivates me. We're, you know, building a life in two separate cities, as you know, and keeping the business going forward so that we can eventually be together is really our end result goal. And as far as my team is concerned, we have an epically awesome team. Everybody is so supportive of each other. And really what we do to keep each other motivated on a daily basis is we're really in touch on Facebook. We have a business-only site that we all participate in that are business builders. We have about 85 people on that site. And then we have a regular Facebook site that, of course, I think there's almost 1,000 people on there that are very active, posting recipes and supports and welcoming people as well. We do have a weekly team call. It is actually tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mm-hmm. And we also have a leadership Zoom call once a week for leaders that are going through a 12-week training program. And then we also have, we're a very active team. We also have a women's only for the women on our team.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, once a week. And I really got that idea from, it was called the Raw event here in Vancouver. It was the red and white event. And there was a young lady up on stage, and she was in her early 30s, maybe late 20s. And she had really developed a sense of community and team within her female population, and that's what they do once a week. They have this very large Zoom call, and so we sort of adapted that, and it's really, really successful, and I think it's really beneficial for the women in business to really get together and talk about what sort of problems they're having or blocks or issues, because we do connect to people differently than men do, and also we connect to each other, and women are talkers. We like to talk, so I think the women-only Zoom call is really important. And I know the men on the team have played around with perhaps having a Zoom call of their own too, the dudes call. So looking forward to that as well.
So what is the leadership call? What is that one like? And it's a Zoom one, right?
It is a Zoom call, correct. It's once a week for 12 weeks. And basically I put out onto the business building site on Facebook, who has their hands up to go to the next level. And, we select a group of people, usually 10 people is what it starts off with. Right now we're left with 6, but that's, this is his business, right? So it's always a numbers game.
Yes.
And so we basically go through training, and it's a really coach-driven training process. And so every week they are given certain skills to research and find out, for example, the very, very first one is, what are 3 products that you like, and, tell me why, they are amazing, or, what is a quick fact about them. So it's really, coachable driven leaderships that they're out researching their own answers, and right down to the very last call, which is actually tonight after our team call, and really getting deep and personal about, their why and connecting. And it really is a foundation for, training these people to become, leaders onto their own, so that now they can have their own leadership call going forward with their team.
Sounds very educational. So you're spending a lot of time just continuing the education, which we always need. And we're getting new products all the time too.
Absolutely.
Like, I listened to that podcast about the ant stuff, and I can listen to it like 10 times, and I still haven't got all the info and stored in my head yet. So, oh my gosh, I just have to keep doing it all the time. It's really an amazing product. Is that one of your favorite products? Because I know you work out a lot.
Yeah, I do. It's one of my habits. Addictive. Yeah. I love the amp line. I absolutely love the amp line. I've noticed a huge difference, and particularly the Knox, which I never really honestly thought I would.
Yep, I keep hearing that.
Yeah, so I'm really, really happy to say that the Knox is epically awesome. I mean, I love those 2 words together. Epically awesome. It is really, it's a great product. And for those who know me, I love running. So, I wake up in the morning. It's the first thing I do is I take my Knox, and then usually I feel the effects about, I go for my run maybe about an hour after I'm awake. So I feel it about halfway through my run, which is just awesome. So it's a fantastic product.
Yeah, they were saying that that actually works for 24 hours.
It does. It absolutely does. Yes, that's correct. So if you're a early morning boot camper, you want to take it right before you go to bed, so that, when 5 a.m. hits, that is in your blood system.
Right, exactly. And what do you think about the Recover?
The Recover is great. First time I ever used it, I noticed a difference in my recovery time. So I actually, this is kind of crazy, I had some injuries in the wintertime, so I was unable to run for about 3 months, which as a runner is painful for anybody that's watching this or hearing this. It's really painful not to be able to run. And I just decided to cold turkey it and try my, first 10-kilometer run on pavement, which runners know that's a tough thing to do. And I was surprised that I was not sore after. I mean, I thought for sure I'd be hobbling around, but I wasn't. And I loaded up on the Recover after. So I am saying that it's that product. It's got to be that product.
Yeah, right. I use, I haven't used those products yet because I was thinking I couldn't really use them, but I found that apparently anyone can use them. I mean, it's not just for people that are athletes and stuff, especially the Knox and the Recover too.
Absolutely.
That's what I've heard.
Absolutely. I think it's for anybody who works out. And let's face it, nowadays, being a former personal trainer and athlete really is somebody who works out 3 times or more a week. And if you're into working out or just keeping, or maintaining your health, you're working out at least 3 times a week. So we're all athletes.
Yeah, I do. Well, my other job, my full-time job is a maid service. So I do the Amped Power, and it does help me, oh my God, immensely. So I probably should try the Recover too. Actually, exactly. At 50, I feel like I need it. Oh my God. So let me see. Let's see. I was going to take that with something else and I completely forgot. What is a normal day like for you? Do you start off working out and you do the exercise, and I know that you do this full time, right?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I know that you travel back and forth to see Kelly. So what does a normal day look like to you?
A normal day for me really is first thing in the morning, I prioritize my health. You have to prioritize your health. And as you were saying, Darlene, I do this full time. I've been retired now from my job, not retired from the business, because as we know that IceGex is not a retirement type of business. You can if you like, but it's, I just cannot imagine not being connected to my team on a daily basis and helping them to reach their goals. So retirement for business-wise, no, that's definitely not the case. However, having said that, you have to take, your health a priority, and I recommend doing that first thing because it really does set your day up for success. So as I mentioned, the first thing I do, I basically roll out of bed and I head into the forest or down to the beach and I go for my run. Meditation is a great time of day to do that as well, or yoga for anybody who's into that. So really, I get my workout over with in the morning, or at least my brain clearing Zen time. And then I do about a quick half an hour on Facebook and I scroll through our team site, seeing if there's any questions that need to be answered. I really, connect on our business site, making sure everybody's up to snuff on what's going on. And, again, we have a lot of 3-way calls that are going on our team as well. So I try to get those done in the morning. That's really my productive time of day to get work done. And then, of course, it's just connecting. I like to connect. It's the 3-3-3, right? You connect with 3 of your business leaders, and I connect with 3 prospects, and also send out 3 messages of inspiration to people on your team. And that is so incredibly important because you have to remember, especially if you're brand new building this business, there is nobody else that's keeping those people motivated except for you. Because a lot of people don't have support initially out of the gate when they're trying to do this. Because let's just face it, most people think that we're crazy to do this business and profession. Yeah. So really, they're looking for support from their upline or from anybody within the team. So that's super, super important. And then, you know what? As crazy as it sounds, I usually head to the gym sometime in the early afternoon. I like to get in my strength training at that point. And then the afternoon again is sort of a repeat of the morning time. I really like to schedule my day according to that. It's sort of like workout, work. And then the evening, we do have a lot of calls, a lot of Zooms, a lot of training. So my evening is usually taken up with that. What I do highly recommend for everybody, especially if you're starting off in this, is to really lay the groundwork for some boundaries as to when you're going to work and not. And I know that I've gotten poked in the side a few times by my partner Kelly, where I'll be in bed. It's like 9:30 and I'm under the covers texting somebody back.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you're mentioning this. Thank you.
And it's really addictive and hard not to feel that you should respond right away. But the reality is that it can wait until the morning. There is no question of urgency great enough within this profession that needs to be answered in the middle of the night or hiding from your partner underneath the covers. All answers to most questions can be found on any of the websites, and that really is a huge training tool that I teach with my team and all my leaders do, is that to make everybody self-sufficient right out of the gate. Let them know the ISA Health Net, the business site, the Facebook team site, because you cannot be the sole source of information. Otherwise, quite literally, you will be drained out of this business. You will exhaust yourself, and then it's not duplicatable. And that really is what this is all about, duplication.
So you highly recommend that. What I think I've learned lately is I had a vacation during launch party week, I think it was, when there was free membership or whatever. I've got to learn how to schedule not taking a vacation during that time, I've learned, because I'm signed up 2 people while I was on vacation. My boyfriend's like, really? Are you serious? Like, are you really like doing this? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of have to. It's like, free membership. I mean, I kind of do it.
Well, you do. And that's a really good point, is that when opportunity knocks, we do need to do this, right? So you will be on vacation signing people up and getting people onto the program, but again, there are those times where it's like, okay, I'm out for dinner and I'm going to be putting my phone in my purse on quiet, not vibrate, or anything like that. It's done. So because this business can be completely consuming and can overtake all of your life, every hour of it, if we don't block out those times for our family and for our loved ones and for friends as well. And I think it's really important to maintain a sense of balance in all areas of our lives while we build this business. And one of my mentors who I really believe just has this nailed down is Susan Sly out of Ontario. Now she lives, I think, in Arizona. But you know what? When it comes to scheduling when you do things, she is the master at it. So if you want to even copy a quarter of how she schedules her day, you will absolutely be successful. Absolutely. So,
successful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, she doesn't work on Sundays, actually.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And I think that's really smart. And again, as a beginning, person building this business, you can feel, oh my gosh, but I've got to do this. I've got to do this. And I understand that and can appreciate it. Just know that as you move along, to really start to implement those boundaries as your team grows, because it will consume your life 24 hours if you let it. And again, that's not duplicatable. Absolutely not duplicatable.
Right.
So
how do you schedule? Okay, so I've got people like in New Zealand and when you got people all over the world, how do you do that?
Well, that can be a challenge. And I will tell you one thing, is that conviction and convenience will never live on the same street. So
I like that.
So there will be times where you're going to need to accommodate your schedule, and also on the reverse. If you're having a team call and it doesn't fit with somebody's schedule, well, it's your team call. So, they may have to get up a few hours earlier, if they are in New Zealand, to participate in a team call. Now, the great thing too nowadays is that we have a lot of stuff that's recorded. So you can record your team call and your Zoom calls. And also there's so many other great leaders. I often tell people who, we have a lot of our stuff that goes on at 7 o'clock PST time. And we have a lot of Eastern people on our team that are early morning boot campers. So staying up past 9 or 10 o'clock doesn't work within their boundaries of their day. And so they listen to our recordings, but also I truly encourage everybody to tap into other teams' team calls.
Yeah.
And that is so important, because as I've often told my team, I am not the guru of isogenics. I have only taken little bits from other leaders and I'm trying to implement it into my business. And hopefully my team is picking up on some of the things that I'm trying to teach. But so many other people have so much great knowledge and have come before me and are far more successful And so I think when you really allow your team to go out there and learn from other people, that's really when growth starts to happen. And again, that is duplicatable. You can hop on anybody's team call and learn. And, because nobody's reinventing the wheel. We're all just taking bits and pieces of other leaders and trying to formulate our own sort of, recipe. And really, tapping into other leaders is so essential for everybody's growth and learning.
Hence why I'm doing this today. So I'm getting a little piece of information. Oh my God, that's awesome. So I'm thinking, let's see, what time is it right now? 5:22. Is there anybody that has any questions for Monika right now? Tatiana usually does.
I know this is where my team always goes quiet, my call.
I know, Carol.
Here's a question. Hello, Monika. Thank you so much for being on the call and doing this, and thank you so much, Diane, Darlene, for doing this. We really appreciate this. My thing that I'm sure everybody else would have something to say about this is the objections. For example, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, somebody said, "This costs too much." How do you approach that scenario?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. First of all, when it comes to teaching my team about objections, I always tell them, go into the IceGenX podcast and listen to all the different podcasts on objections, because you may pick up on certain ways to deal with that question, different ways from different people. So when it comes to the cost, I always, first thing out of the gate, will say, well, if I could show you a way that cost will not be an objection, are you open to hearing about it? Because right there and then, you're sort of qualifying the person. If they say, no, I'm not open to hearing about it, well, then chances are, no matter what you came up with, they were never going to purchase the products. If they are open to hearing about it, let's just duplicate U plus 2, them plus 2. And it's really simple. Now, if they want a more detailed answer, you say, well, it's just taking the grocery bill and reallocating a portion of that money. Excuse me. So again, it's really about qualifying them right out of the gate and taking that whole objection question and asking them that if you found a solution for them, would they be open to hearing about it? And I just think that's such a great way, and it alleviates us having to feel like we have to convince people and coming up with numbers and charts and, all these different reasons why they should be doing it. If they do say, no, I'm not open to hearing about it, then there's your answer. And kindly put them in the not right now pile. There is never a never pile. It's always a not right now pile, because we never know what's going on behind the scenes in somebody's life.
Terrific. I like that. Thank you so much. That was terrific.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? I'm going to unmute everyone.
Okay.
Because I just realized that.
No.
No?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Does anybody want to put their hands up and ask a question?
I cannot ask.
You can ask from here.
I raised my hand.
Okay, go ahead. Ask.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, this is Tatiana. I don't know what's going on with my phone, but I can't. I'll do it from Kendra's part. Okay. Well, that was great. I really loved it. One question I have. Sometimes I find, we always say, make sure you, especially for new people or people that don't know how to do network marketing very well, allocate time to really do the business, and people get excited, they prepare their time, and then they sit down in front of, Facebook or in front of their things that they have to do, and they freeze. It's like, okay, what do I do now? And some people have seen videos, that have seen podcasts, but sometimes I feel like, they get the time and then they freeze at the moment of the most important thing, that's like the action of actually picking up the phone or doing the Facebooks. What do you do with some of your associates that are a little bit like this?
Well, that's a really good question, actually. So first of all, we all know that there's only one income producing activity, which is prospecting, right? So whenever I have a new person that says, okay, well, how many minutes a day do I need to dedicate to this, and what exactly do I do? First of all, you need to get your story down packed. So that is the first thing that we often train, is that getting your story clear, because when you're talking to people or prospecting, you have to have something to say. And, you know, typically saying, oh, hey, you know, I've got this really great shake, you should buy it, probably not going to work. But if you can have that emotional connection with your story, now that opens up to actually having a prospecting conversation. So when new people have that 30 minutes a day and they, you know, want to know what they should be doing with it, have them, first of all, really get clear on what their story is. Is it a product story? Is it an income story? Is it a time freedom story? So make sure that they know what that is, because if they have a foundation where they feel secure to talk to somebody, so if you can imagine the opposite, somebody is going to speak to somebody and they don't know what their story is, well, they're going to freeze, they're not going to know what to say. So making sure they have their story down packed is absolutely critical, number one. The second thing is writing their list of people to contact. And there is, and I know this is the era of texting and Facebooking, but really nothing works better than a phone call, because you can hear the excitement and the inflections in somebody's voice. And so getting them over the fear of picking up the phone would be the second thing I would recommend doing. Now, if they're of the younger generation, we're talking on the phone is just so not going to happen. You know, what I would do is really have them, again, make their list. And I usually say contact 5 of your closest friends who are either looking for, you know, a health solution, whether it is, you know, fitting into that bathing suit or losing that baby weight or earning a bit of money to, you know, support their party habits on the weekends after college. And then reaching out to those people and saying, hey, you know what, I've got this, you know, amazing business opportunity that some friend has introduced me to. I want to share it with you. I'm so excited. When can we talk? So again, it's really about making that emotional connection that's going to get that reaction for somebody to say, really? Okay, that's really cool. And what we have been using lately is, you know, the whole, I have been thinking about you for the last couple of weeks and I can't get you out of my mind. I need to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
You know, or I need to talk to you about this amazing product I've been using. I've been a bit shy to contact you, but I need to tell you about this. So again, getting them clear on their story, and then, you know, making their list of contacts and literally just keeping them committed to connecting with at least 5 people a day off that list.
Yeah, getting back to basics.
Back to basics. There is no secret method to build this business.
Yeah,
you know, it's making connections. Like I said, the only income producing activity there is on the face of this planet in network marketing is prospecting. Right. If you're not prospecting, you're not building a business. End of story. Simple.
Perfect.
I have a quick question, actually.
Awesome.
That kind of takes off from there. How do you go about a cold call? And that would be like someone you don't really know that well, say an executive or doctor of some sort. Have you done those? How do you recommend trying to establish a relationship and do that sort of thing?
Well, there's a couple of sort of rules of thumb I think around there, and I hope that the other leaders that may watch this will agree with me, is that first of all, you know, cold calling I think is sort of an antiquated way of thinking nowadays. It's really about relationship building. And so unless you are, you know, very successful, you can literally just go up to a doctor or another professional and say, hey, look, you know, I know that you're burned out. I know you don't know me from a hole in the wall, but I think I have a business opportunity that might help alleviate some of the stress. And if you want to get together for a cup of coffee, that kind of thing would be fantastic. But again, you have to have the stature and the edification of yourself to be able to pull that one off. So for the rest of us, I think building a relationship is key. You know, asking about them. You know, again, people love nothing but better than to talk about themselves or to hear their own name. So when we are, you know, meeting somebody that perhaps is a cold call, it's really about learning about that person. Also, how long have you been a doctor for? Oh, so do you really like it? And I hear that doctors are really busy. You get a lot of free time. And sort of, you know, get them to lead you to that opening, which allows you to say, wow, you know what, it's so crazy, but I work with some doctors in my profession, and I know that they have a very similar story to yours. And I know that a few of them have actually started doing this part-time business to help alleviate some pressure from, you know, financial stress or time freedom you know, hey, maybe you might be interested in taking a look at this. So again, but to get to that point, you have to build that relationship, and it can be in the space of an elevator ride. It's just about really asking them questions, right?
Yeah, totally. That's so true. Would anybody else, I saw some new people getting on, like to ask Monika any questions? We'll leave it open. We've got about 7 minutes left, so anybody that would like to do that, you're more than welcome.
Hi, everybody. Hi, new people. Thank you all so much for being on the Zoom call. It's so great to be.
Terrific.
I know.
I love you all. It's fantastic.
All right. Okay, so
let me see.
oh my God, I want to thank Monika for all this awesome information today. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you. That's why I wanted to call, especially from last year when you and Kelly and your team were so just amazing and sweet and wonderful. So anyways, so I look forward to seeing everyone hopefully next week. Monika, if you want to join, we're going to have Crystal Escobar on, and Mindy, who's on the call right now, is going to be actually interviewing her because she's a mom, and I thought I'd kind of put them together about balancing, mom time and business time together, and trying to put that all together because it's a fine balance doing all that kind of stuff. And that'll be at the same time on Zoom time. And you can get all of the latest updates on my Live Your Lifestyle page. I'm going to be doing these calls for a year, once a week for a year. So I'm going to be doing new people every week, either in the morning call or this evening Zoom call. And so Monika's my fourth call, and I jumped out of my comfort zone so that I could learn how to interview people and and learn more too. And I hope all of you have learned something today. I know I have, because Monika is a plethora of information. I'll probably have you back to Monika.
Thank you for having me, and I hope everybody's learned something too.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say thank you, Monika. My name's Laura. I really enjoyed I listened on my phone first because I came back from yoga, but I did listen to it on the phone, and then I got on to the Zoom. But I enjoyed listening to all your great information, and thank you, Darlene, for hosting the calls. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Anyways, yes, I appreciate everybody being on here.
Thank you, Darlene. This is very, very nice and great information. Always. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.
Wait. So we have to leave with a 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Genix, remember?
Sorry about that.
Guys are
All right,
Genix.
Kendrick's got
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love you guys.
One team.
Yes.
One team. Love it. One team.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.